Hello, everybody.
Look at that.
Hello.
We made it.
Did it. So if you're all noticing, we are missing one of the core four of Cloud Chats. Mason is out today, but we will be doing our best to make all the fun transition noises ourselves.
Wait, we're doing it a cappella?
Yeah, you want to lead us?
Absolutely not.
Cool. Well, welcome everybody. Today is Thursday. I don't know why I do this every time. Thursday, the 24th. My name is Chris, and here are my co-hosts.
Hello.
I'm Kim.
I'm Matt. This is episode 18, titled Windows 10 EOL, Vaporware, and Kubernetes. You can figure out how related or not related those are to the content at the end of the show.
Yeah, we'll put out a survey. What's up, Love Cash? What's up, Matt Veneer? Matt Veneer got his stickers. Those are her stickers. Awesome.
That's what we got.
Let's see. Everybody in chat, if you're joining us from anywhere in the world, shout out in the chat. We'll say, hey, we're hailing from Las Vegas myself. Matt from, I don't know your exact location, Matt.
Just outside London. Yeah, just outside London,
Kim.
UK. And then Kim, where are you?
I'm in Denver, Colorado.
Very nice.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out in chat where you're coming in from, and let's get this party started. So for our cold open, we have, I guess we call it the Hello World.
Yeah, it's got a new name.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh, this is what is the best book that you have ever read? Somebody's gonna have to go first because I don't know.
I can go if you want.
Oh, yes. Matt, go ahead.
Sure. So actually very on topic with the title of the segment, which is Hello World. My favorite book that I've read is called Hello World. It's written by Hannah Fry, and it just talks about like algorithms, but like not in a technical sense, just how are they applied in the real world? What are the concerns around them and that kind of thing. And it was a really interesting read. It's like quite a short book, but a lot of content to think about.
Oh, nice. I like the idea that they show some like real world examples of the algorithms.
Yeah.
Do you have like one off the top of your head?
I don't, because it's been a while since I read it. But yeah, there's like, yeah, I think each chapter is like an algorithm, and it talks about like how the algorithm works, what the applications, and then it talks about kind of like what should we be concerned about with that algorithm, like what could go wrong with it, that kind of thing.
That sounds terrifying. What could go wrong with it?
Well, you know, we have to be careful what we let computers do.
Everything. Do everything.
Yeah, I think like one of them in here was like they were using algorithms in a criminal justice system, and obviously what could go wrong there is that you sentence someone to jail for something they haven't done because the algorithm thought they had.
Yeah, that is bad and a concern. Oh, Maveneer put a book that I love. It wasn't the one I was going to talk about, but Ghost in the Wires by Kevin Mitnick. It's great. Great book. Kevin Mitnick was like a hacker in the 70s and 80s and 90s. He did eventually go to jail, but that was sort of one of the first technology books I had ever read. And I was surprised how much social engineering played a part in his hacking, where he would like call someone at a company and say like, hey, this is the supervisor, like give me your username and password. So it's a great book. It's really well written, really interesting. And Kevin Mitnick is out of prison and now is a security consultant. So.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Social engineering is scary. I think like there's no better way to describe it. It's scary because yes, you can train to protect yourself against it, but the whole aim of it is that you won't know.
Yeah, and it changes, right? Like anybody that could receive training, like I don't know, my parents received training on like don't get in somebody's car, and now like things have changed, and it's I don't know, different attacks.
Yeah, my mom is in her late 60s and is like gets a lot of potential scams that come her way, and like once or twice a year like that she falls for them, and she's very good about like calling me and sort of debriefing, and I feel like that would be a good podcast or YouTube show, like helping your elderly parent navigate social engineering or scams. But I assume it's only a matter of time until it happens to me. And hopefully I can just reduce the amount of harm that comes from it, as opposed to thinking I can totally avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, that's terrifying when you think of like augmented reality, if things start like popping up in front of you and you're like, okay, that's cool. And you just walk over to it.
I had never considered that. That is terrifying.
Yeah.
I just want to shout out some people in the chat. What's up? Srikanth from India. Welcome, welcome. Shiraz from Malaysia. Awesome. Ricardo, welcome back.
Portugal. Nice.
Portugal. Lovekesh, we are using StreamYard. Fantastic tool.
Wonderful.
Has anyone read this one by that Tuileries is calling out?
I have read that. I have read The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F.
I feel that's
it's
just
good.
like that. Yeah, that's just how I operate, right? You just have to disconnect yourself from everything.
Yeah, I take from it like every time you give an F about something, that's taking away Fs from something that's more important to you.
Yeah.
Right. And
yeah,
mine. Sorry, go ahead, Kim.
Go ahead, Chris. I was gonna say, yeah, you be deliberate about what you put your energy into.
Yeah, it's a great point. What was my book? I love how we all went with tech books. It's Don't Make Me Think by Steve Krug.
I have not read this book, but I've heard good things about it from multiple people.
Yeah, so it's kind of, I read it early on in my career, and it's kind of guided my UI thinking, and it should guide pretty much everyone's UI type thinking. It's like every millisecond of attention that a user gives you is precious, and kind of a gift to you as the website owner. So don't put your login button on the top left just to be fancy. Like, everyone wants it on the top right. Yeah. Don't put it on the top left. I'm calling out Vimeo right here.
But you're right though. Like, yeah, that now you say that. Yes, my brain is instinctively going, yes, a login button is top right. That's just where they are.
Just don't try to be fancy. Like, be fancy somewhere else. Don't reinvent the normal wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, Secundo from Colombia?
Nice.
I love Lovekesh's book recommendation. You Don't Know JS by Carl Simpson. Yeah, everything about that book is brilliant.
Yeah. Did you get the book or did you read it GitHub style?
I feel like I probably read it GitHub style. I imagine I kind of just skim read it. But yeah, JavaScript is a weird language.
Yeah, he does a great job.
The weirder it gets.
Yeah, one of my favorite talks doing is JavaScript is weird. I like JavaScript, and it just goes through like the weird it just picks 5 weird ones like scope, hoisting, coercion, so weird.
Well, no, the JavaScript is like, I love it, and I also absolutely hate it. Like, we have a rule with a lot of the projects we're working on now where it's like, for example, we try to avoid mutating stuff ever. So like, we won't push to an array. You won't change an object property. But at the same time, like, sometimes I need to be able to do that. And I like the fact that I can use the array prototype to push to an array if I want to. It just works.
Yeah, it is weird that you have that feeling because I used a delete on an array or on an object. I forget which one.
That's
But
good.
just yeah, and it's like I felt so wrong. I had to close the laptop and like walk away, go wash my
Gotta go
hands.
take a walk.
Yeah.
But it worked, and I knew what was happening.
Yeah. It's that kind of weird stuff. Yeah,
Weird
JavaScript's
stuff.
a weird language. It's a good book.
That is a good book. Kyle Simpson's like a master teacher.
Kim, do we actually ever do your book, or do we just do Mavenir's book?
Ooh,
I
good
don't
call, Matt.
know.
Because you said you called out Mavenir's Ghost in the Wires, and you said it wasn't your book, but another one.
Oh, yes. No, we have not done my book. I was trying to decide. I'm going to go with Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. It's, I guess, science fiction. It was written in either the late 80s or early 90s, but it's set in like 2024. And it's amazing. I mean, Octavia Butler like predicted a lot of what's going on now politically. She was like able to understand what climate change would look like. It's incredibly prophetic. It's really well written, and I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
I wish
Wait,
there
is
was
it
just more.
Free on Kindle, or am I misreading Amazon's advertising here?
I think you have to have the Kindle Unlimited service.
So it's free.
Yeah,
if you pay.
we're not trying to advertise for Kindle or anything, so I'm like pushing it out.
Push it out of the screen view.
I can't zoom in enough. I love this Hello World. Everybody's throwing out some good books. Ricardo just threw out Brief History of Tomorrow, Homo Deus.
Deus.
Oh yeah,
Deus?
I've read Sapiens, which is I think his earlier book about like how humans evolved. It's very good. That one's I had to be very deliberate about reading it though. It's not like an easy read.
Fair enough.
Matt, you've got Yogith in the chat saying
Missing my Twitch streams. I just don't have time anymore. We were talking about this before we went live. All of us just so short of time. Yeah.
that's why. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get better at it too, of trying to like mix in the work with the stream, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
I haven't I don't think I've streamed since like October last year. I just have not had any time at all.
Yeah, we'll get there. Let's see, one more, and then we'll go into the next segment. We got Power of the Subconscious Mind.
Nice. Telluri, thank you.
Right on.
Pull it up, or we're not gonna.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. You pulled everyone up. I was like, are we gonna,
yeah, let's do it.
Pull it up?
I wish we could get to like Matrix levels where I could just plug in and say I want that book in my head, and just do it that way, you know?
Oh, interesting.
Let's see.
So it seems like none of us have read this. We have to read the description.
Yeah, I think.
Let's see.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like it's kind of just tapping into the whole idea of letting your subconscious mind figure stuff out for you.
That's why I take a lot of breaks. I let somebody on Twitter called it marinating. Like you're not taking a break, you're marinating, and like problems will come, like solutions will come. And cool.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for the
I read
recommendation, Lori.
Yeah, I read a book. I can't remember what it's called, but it was about learning, and that we have like focused learning and diffuse learning, and like we need both states in order to actually integrate information. So taking a walk, like stepping away, is actually an important part of mastering something. I think it's focused thinking and diffuse thinking. The book was called A Mind for Numbers. It's got a really famous, I think, Coursera course associated with it.
Perfect.
And I've heard other terms for those types of. Oh yeah, diffuse thought, focused thought.
Well, this is great because now when I'm like not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I can reference this.
Justify it. Yeah.
Neuroscience says you're doing the right thing.
Perfect. All right, let's jump into the next segment. This is where Matt's going to do some acapella.
No.
We should record. That's a good transition sound. So let's get into the news, everybody. We have
This
1,
news,
2, 3,
yeah.
4, 5, 6 news items for you. Best news that we found this week, and
Well,
we'll
2
start
weeks,
out.
in fact, because we weren't
2
here
weeks.
last week, so this is like the best summary I could do of 2 weeks of news.
There's been some fun announcements this past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get into it. First one, Stripe identity. Matt, you want to talk on this one?
Sure, yeah. Stripe has launched their identity product at last. The whole idea is that kind of like, Stripe does all sorts of really kind of seamless integrations, and this is just another one. Sites that use this can verify the identity of people using all the standard kind of identity documents that a government would issue to you. And it's like, this has been around for a while now in beta. For example, I know Discord's been using it for their developer verification for bots. Which I have been through, so I can confirm that this is a very seamless product. Yeah, I don't know, it's really cool. I'm glad to see that it's finally kind of properly launched. I guess like there's a tiny bit of privacy concern here because I think, as far as I'm aware, the site that uses this has access to your document that you use. But that is why privacy laws exist. So, but yeah, really cool little service.
So it's not like an Auth0 or anything, right? Or is it? It's more like a verification level.
Yeah, I want to verify the identity of this user. They'll upload an ID, and Stripe will go, cool, that's a valid ID. This person is who they say they are.
Honestly, Stripe's website design is so much fun, always.
Yeah.
Oh, that is fun. Wow, Stripe has really been releasing a lot of cool stuff the last few months.
I love this. It does a like demo of it.
Oh, I didn't notice. That's cool.
Nice. And then looking at the overview of Stripe Identity, it says it'll match photo ID with selfies and validate social security numbers or other unique, like, identifying numbers that we've got.
I wonder if now that it's so like easy to do it, are we going to see it on like random websites like, I don't know, Walmart.com?
You could.
I hope not.
Well, yeah. Like from a privacy perspective, I don't want it to happen, but it's really seamless. And like, if you're doing this on a desktop PC, it like incredibly seamlessly hands off to your phone to take a photo and do a selfie, and then hand straight back.
Do I need like an app on my phone?
No, I don't think you do. I think you just use a web browser. So
awesome.
Yeah, really seamless service.
Cool. Good on Stripe. I was gonna say, Matt, we need to hear that sound again. But we're good. Ricardo has a good question on Stripe. Actually, is that compliant with GDPR? I assume there's a way.
I'm not Stripe, so don't take my word for it that yes, but yes, Stripe would not release a product like this that wasn't compliant.
I agree. They should. That should be like forefront for them.
Yeah. I say, like, I'm not Stripe, so I can't officially comment on it. But
well, not promising.
Would it be in their docs though? Like a support article almost, or something, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
I think. Yeah, one thing that made me lift an eyebrow is it said social security number specifically, like verifying that, and I think that's U.S. specific. So I don't know.
Well, I imagine maybe they've integrated with US. I don't know. I'm not in the US. Whatever department looks after SSNs, so they can verify those.
Yeah, maybe.
I would love to see that API.
Like, here's an SSN. Is it real?
This next news item is about the Amazon App Store, which I did not know was like I knew it was a thing, but I didn't really. It's not one of the top of mind app stores for me.
Same.
Yeah, I honestly did not know that Amazon really had an app store until I saw this bit of news. But all the same, it's a cool bit of news. They're reducing their cut to give more money back to developers.
Yeah, it seems like there's this push across all of them to do it.
Yeah,
which
for
I'm
sure.
for.
So yeah, this is Amazon's reducing their cut down to 20% of the revenue. So developers get 80% now, and then on top of that, they're also giving a further 10% of the revenue back to the developer in AWS credit. So if the developer can actually utilize that credit, they're getting effectively 90% of their earnings.
That's cool. It keeps you in the garden or the walled. But I mean,
keeps you in the ecosystem.
Yeah,
cool.
And I,
sorry, go ahead, Kim.
Oh no, keep going. We've got so many news items.
Yes. This next one, I don't know how to talk about it because I don't know what Flock is.
So that is the federated learning of cohorts, which is Google's new approach to tracking users. So,
oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. The whole idea, right, is that instead of tracking individuals, they're now going to track cohorts of users, which on the surface I think is better, but the way they're doing it is by rolling it into Chrome as a browser itself, which is not very cool. And because of that, a lot of companies are blocking it. So like the likes of GitHub and DuckDuckGo and the EFF have already blocked it, and Amazon's now blocking it on all their properties as well. And blocking it is literally as simple as setting a single header on your responses. So yeah, I don't know. Nice. It's interesting that so many sites are just jumping on the bandwagon of completely blocking it.
I just added this news item, but since we're on the topic of browsers and privacy, Brave, who is probably one of the best alternate browsers to Chrome, they just released their own web search.
Oh, sweet.
That's right. Yeah. And it's non-tracking, right?
Yes. Non-tracking. I don't know what they do with their, because Brave has that like token system.
Does it have ads? Or is it like just genuinely a proper search at last?
What should I search for? That book that we didn't call out that Sabin brought up earlier.
Sure.
A little slow there.
That looks pretty ad-free to me.
Wait. No trackers, no
nothing.
No nothing.
Nice.
Yeah, I wonder now if they would surface sites that use their Brave attention token thing, like, which to me sounds like no, but
yeah, I'd hope they wouldn't. Would be my instinct there. Right.
Brian, do you have a search you want me to do?
Lovekesh pointed out
we have.
The Brave.
Let's see.
Code is open source. That's pretty cool.
I was looking at one that came up pretty often in our searches, Elasticsearch, nice. Kubernetes. There we are.
There we are.
Okay, install LampStack. This is like actually a lot of fun for me.
But it's interesting because like
there we go.
I'm so used to where we rank on Google, not where we rank on Brave.
Interesting. Okay. I like also when you're searching on Google and you have Google Search Console installed. If you do a search for something and your website's up, it'll actually like have a little pop-up that says, "Hey, we know that you are the owner of that website. You currently rank at this. This is your stats for the week."
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I wonder if Brave is seamless. Going to do something similar now that they have search. Like, are they going to have a developer console for looking at your rankings and that kind of thing?
Yeah,
see.
they already have that dashboard for earnings with that attention token.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's let's
Nice.
jump into the next one.
Talking of releases.
Talking on releases, we have one of my favorite frameworks. Just jumped to number 11.
Yeah.
Huh.
And they did this at their Next.js conf, last week?
Yeah. Last week, 2 weeks ago, 9 days ago.
9 days.
It's right
Last
there.
week. So, Matt, what did you watch it? What's your take on it?
Yeah, so our entire team actually took half a day off to sit and watch and chat about it, which was really cool. I don't know. I feel like I think this was a general community vibe as well. There was a very mixed reaction to it. One of the really cool features here that they highlighted heavily in the conference was Next.js Live, which is like an in-browser IDE for collaborative real-time development of Next sites, which, don't get me wrong, is really cool. But there was quite a negative reaction by certain people in the community because the focus of the release was on that, and that's not really the framework. It's very much a separate product.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. I think it wasn't it slated to be open source at one point?
Yes,
Or
I think the intention
eventually?
is still they're going to be open sourcing it, or if it's not already, it might already be open source. But yeah, it's going. The idea is you can host it yourself if you want to. But I think for now it's early access on Vercel only, which doesn't quite sit right in my mind because Next is going to be open source and everything, and there seems to be this increasing shift towards vendor locking with Vercel, which is, I don't know, concerning, but we'll see.
Concerning, yes. And the other point, which we saw yesterday,
Yes.
is this one right here. Another raise for Next.js or for Vercel.
102 million US dollars. Wow. Series C. Forgive my ignorance. Next.js is a JavaScript framework like Vue or React, or is it something even more abstracted above that?
One layer above that. So it's kind of the framework you go to wrap around React.
Nice. And Chris, you really like Next, right?
I do. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Next. It's, I don't know, Jamstack world, I think, still has a way to go to match the monolith type productivity.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I might get yelled at for that one. But
I think Next is blurring the line.
Closer.
Yeah.
Yes, it's getting there, especially right when you throw a database from DigitalOcean on it, and then you deploy. Then you get a pretty much full stack app, and you get static site generation, server side rendering.
Yeah. I was like, you can do what you want with it, and the way we're approaching it actually is I've mentioned this before. We're rewriting the community site. It's going to be built in Next. We're going for the option of fully statically rendering everything. Which Next can do. But if we decide actually we don't want to do that anymore, Next can also just run as a server and do server-side rendering on demand with optional caching in between. So
yeah, that incremental static generation, fantastic.
Yeah.
And also, if you're interested, we have a video on this channel for how to deploy Next.js 2 different ways to DigitalOcean as a static site or a server-side generated site.
Sweet. Yeah,
nice.
Really cool framework. The other big thing that was in the release, whilst we're still on it, was conformance tooling, which is essentially they've released an ESLint plugin, which has a load of rules specific to Next. And it's in collaboration with Google, so there's core Web Vitals stuff in there as well, which is really, really cool. But yeah, that was the other big thing to me, was that now exists. And we rolled out immediately, and it cleaned up our code a bit. So,
oh wow.
Yeah. You say cleaned up. I say it yelled at me a little bit.
Well, yeah, it yelled at me. I was like, I think it generated something like 500 errors when we enabled it. But actually, most of it was auto fixable. So the magic of ESLint.
And a lot of it is React specific stuff too, for me. at least.
Yes, I think like the default rule set has all of the React accessibility stuff and everything in it. So really nice.
Yeah, really nice. Cool. So next up, this is a big one. Windows 10 retired in 2025. I still feel like Windows 10 is new kid on the block.
It's been
But
around
it's-
for a long time though, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Years. No, 5 years at this point. Is it 5 years at this point, and then 10 years by the time it goes EOL?
5 years.
July
I don't know.
29, 2015. Yep.
Yeah.
6 years
Ah.
now.
Wild.
I remember 8.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Windows Vista because I'm that much older than Matt.
I remember Windows Vista. That was great. It's, in my opinion, the best OS because it was just such a different UI.
Yeah. 95, anybody?
Oh yeah, 95. Was there a Windows 98? Was that?
There was.
Okay, I remember that. There was a bug in that operating system where when you went to shut it down, like it would just spin on the shutting down page and you'd have to manually like use the button on your computer to turn it off. I remember my father and I, like we knew that was happening, and then like 5 or 6 years later, we like found an article that was like, that was a bug. And we were like, oh my gosh, it wasn't just us. It was Windows.
Oh, really?
I thought that story was going into, and then I reported my first bug ever.
Nah. I came to tech a lot later in life than that.
Small anecdote. My first computer was a 95 PC, and like saved up, got it. And I got one of those.
Cool.
I got one of those games from a cereal box. Like they used to put games in cereal boxes. So I went to install it. It said your computer doesn't have enough. I think it was memory.
Uh-huh.
So I said we need more space. So I deleted the crucial Windows files and the System32, and that computer lasted a month.
Cool.
That is, I'm sure it was very sad for you at the time, but that's a wonderful story now. Was the game on a CD-ROM that came in the cereal box?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my God, my heart.
It was Captain Crunch.
Oh, very good. What a different time we live in.
Yeah.
Overabundance of games on phones now. Cool. Let's jump into. Oh, sorry, Matt.
The only one thing on Windows 10 here is just, it's really interesting considering when Windows 10 was launched, right? Microsoft said that it was going to be the final OS and it would just get rolling updates. I'm really curious to see, like, I'm sure we will find out what has caused this change, why we need a new version. There's a part of me that's hopeful it's like maybe they're moving to the Linux kernel as their base.
Interesting. Yeah,
because like WSL is such a big thing now.
I was really interested in their 10X, which was supposed to be their new mobile, like universal operating system. But it seems like they took a lot of the learnings from that and are going to roll it into whatever this new one is.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that launching today? I feel like I saw somewhere that we're going to find out today what the replacement is for Windows 10.
Interesting. Well, we have a very important next cloud chats to talk about it in.
We do.
At next Tuesday, everybody, Deploy Conference. Come hang out with us. We're doing a live, I guess this is live. We're doing a live in-conference cloud chats. Deploy or deploy.digitalocean.com.
Yeah.
That's
And
good.
then we'll also be on Discord if you want to find us.
Yeah, it'll be a shorter show for sure, but still good old Cloud Chats vibe. So come and join us.
And we may have some announcements that day to chat about too.
Who knows?
Who knows? Ricardo with a good point. Maybe they're going ARM approach. I know they've done ARM work a lot recently.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Next Tuesday. Yes, Brian. Next Tuesday.
Ooh, they
Final
use
news item.
Slack.
Yeah. This is really cool. well, not cool, but cool in how they did it.
So EA was breached, the gaming company.
Yes.
And
So
the hackers came in through Slack.
well, yes. So they purchased some stolen cookies on the dark web, which is in itself scary that there are browsers out there that have been pwned that are leaking cookies. They purchased some cookies, got into Slack, and then we touched on this earlier. They social engineered EA's IT support into granting them access.
Whoa!
And they got full access to EA's internal network and just stole everything.
Oof.
But yeah,
Interesting. Terrifying, but also, I don't know. Like, that's why it's so fun when you see the ethical hackers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's just again that reminder of no one is immune to social engineering.
Yeah,
Terrifying.
even if you work at a big gaming company.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just an interesting news story. I think the new Battlefield game got leaked as part of that, which was why it made the news so heavily.
I see.
Interesting. Cool. So
that was news.
We ended on the scary one. That was a lot of news. 2 weeks worth, but some good stuff in there. Let's move on to true or false for the week.
Yeah.
Let me see how to turn this on.
You see, this is what happens when we don't have Mason here, everyone.
Yeah.
Just so you're aware.
Yeah.
We're
Mason
struggling
is
a bit because Mason just kind of was the glue that made this work. Cool.
All right.
So go to kahoot.it and enter that code on screen. 1504282. And you can join us and play.
While we give people time to join, we're going to do our new segment, which is Word of the Week. And so this week's word is vaporware. And I actually picked this because I didn't really know what it meant. So the definition from the Tech Terms Glossary is that vaporware is hardware or software that has been announced, but has missed its release date by a significant amount of time. It includes both products that are eventually released and products that are never released at all. And so an example is Windows Vista. It was expected to ship in 2003 and actually was released in 2005. So I don't know. When I say the word vaporware, what comes to mind, Chris and Matt?
Every domain I've ever bought in my life.
Like getting a website up on it.
Yeah. Any side project, it's all vaporware.
Yeah.
But if you don't announce it, does it? And it never appears. Does it actually?
I announce every domain purchase, though.
Have you seen Chris's Twitter?
I have, now that I think about it. I just didn't realize that was like a rule for every domain. That's a good idea. I like that. Then I'd have to tell people some of the goofy domains I buy.
Yeah. Nothing specific comes to mind for me for vaporware. I don't know. I say the word and in my mind, I just get this very hazy techno kind of image, if that makes any sense at all. But nothing specific comes to mind.
Sure, like
vaporwave,
like vape smoke. I don't know. I feel like I get vaporware because I've worked on software, and sometimes you have a release date and sometimes you don't make it, and you just gotta say sorry, everybody, and then release it later.
Yeah. I think everybody here in chat also knows about projects that could have been.
Yeah.
Jelly Donut, welcome. We got Win7 in here. Beardo. Matt, I didn't know how to turn on the fake name generator thing.
That's fine. I actually think it's better like this. So we actually laugh.
I like this too. Love Kesh is in here. Maurice, Airbox.
Whilst we wait for people to join, the other reminder, could kick me out. That'd be very rude, though. The other reminder is that if you win and it's not Kim or I, if that makes sense, you will be getting stickers as prizes.
Mm.
We will send you some stickers if you win. So all the more reason to play along. I don't know what
Yeah.
the theme is this week yet. So
The theme this
Oh,
week
yeah.
is space.
space.
So
Yes.
Matt, you are pretty up there.
I don't know.
In terms of existing space knowledge.
Yeah. Cool. Let's get it started. We've got 9 in here. Can we get 10? We're gonna go in about 10 seconds. Maveneer has the recommendation for the stickers.
If you win,
I should
we'll
say, like,
send you
even once we
stickers.
started, you can still join in halfway through the quiz. And if you do really
can
well,
you?
you can still win.
Cool. All right, everybody. We are gonna start in 3, 2, 1. Let's get some stickers.
True or false? Space edition.
Interesting. I get to be on this side today.
Yeah.
So the smallest planet within our solar system is Pluto. Ooh,
Starting
Mason
off
it started-
controversial. Oh yeah, Mason wrote this true or false for us.
Yeah, I'll say, like, Chris, have you actually looked at what the questions are yet?
just one in the future.
Yeah, I said, like, none of us know what this quiz is. There could be all sorts in here.
All right, false. So it sounds like he went with Pluto is not a planet.
Cool.
We'll just leave it at that. I always think of that Rick and Morty episode.
Yeah.
Where they go to talk about Pluto. Yeah, starting out tricky. But Kim got it. Maurice, Beardo. All right, let's get going. Question number 2. Phobos and Deimos are the moons of Venus.
How on earth does Mason
Venus.
think this is, like, common knowledge?
I like no names. but I
Jupiter
don't know.
had moons.
Yes.
But I didn't know Venus had moons.
This is good, though. I like how off topic this is compared to normal.
False. Okay. I bet you it's like Deimos or something, like easy changes. Do we have a name for our moon, or is it just moon?
Moon. It's just moon.
I bet it has a name.
The
how
moon.
arrogant we are saying like our moon is the moon.
There's the moon, yeah. Well, it's like our sun is the sun.
All right.
What's up, Bobby?
Saturn has the most moons.
Does Saturn have the most moons of? I presume any planet in our solar system is the question, but
Mm.
I thought it didn't.
Have to define
and
the
then this
scale.
image-
And then the others. Okay.
Okay.
turns out it does.
I legitimately thought it had 0 moons. Some planet has 0. Oh, Saturn says 27 moons.
Cool.
Wow.
That's a lot of moons.
That's cool.
A lot of moons. Bobby, welcome back. If you want to join, we're still pretty early on. Question 3 out of 10.
Still join, potentially win, because it turns out maybe not all of us know much about space. So
Right on. Lovekesh, I'm not sure we've seen this before. Maybe refresh, see if that helps.
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, number 4.
What have we got?
Tough ones. All right, Maurice up there. Well done. Beardo hanging in. Kim, solid. Let's go.
Whoa.
1 year on Jupiter is greater than 10 Earth years. Ooh,
I mean, by sheer size, probably.
probably. I don't
And
know.
distance. I guess that's distance, huh?
But isn't a year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rotation
A
around
revolution.
the sun.
Yeah.
I don't
Samantha
know.
says Venus has no moons. Mercury has 0 moons as well.
Hmm.
Well,
1 year on Jupiter is greater than 10 years on Earth. Does anyone know the actual conversion to that?
That's true. That's interesting.
Googling.
I'm going to go 15.
Orbital period of 12 years.
12.
Wow.
Nice.
Orbital period. That's a good. I like that phrase.
Yeah.
That's a
So
good
there you go.
domain name.
Orbital. Uh-oh. I'll beat you to it, Chris.
I'm not doing
Beardo's
well
coming
today.
up. Yeah, Maurice, well done. Okay, let's
Nice,
go.
Maurice Beardo.
Maveneer says 12 years. Thanks, Maveneer. It takes 7 minutes for the sun's rays to reach the Earth. Oh,
So if
that's
this is
pretty
true,
exact.
and the sun just stops working one day, we would have 7 minutes until we need.
That's always like the most fascinating like fact when I was a kid. They're like, oh, those stars are probably non-existent anymore.
Yeah.
That is so fascinating.
All right, it takes what do you think, longer or less?
Oh, it's false.
False.
Oh, dang.
499 seconds, according to Google.
Sabin says 8 minutes.
What is 499
499 on
seconds?
60. Yeah, 8 minutes.
Okay.
Nice, Sabin.
Nice.
Sabin's got the numbers today.
So that was one of Mason's tricky ones where he changed the number very slightly.
Is this another tricky Mason question? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is, Maveneer.
Even when he's not here, his legacy is here.
I would like to think that he's sitting at home currently watching this and just like laughing.
Cool. So what are we on? 6. Question number 6. Apollo 12 was the first spacecraft to carry astronauts to the moon. And also, why haven't we been back?
We're working on it.
Oh, to the moon? I think we are starting to work on it, but that's a great question. All right, so that
this is
answer
false.
was false. It was Apollo 11, right? That
Right
was
on.
the first.
Yeah.
I watched a very good documentary about Apollo 11 a few years ago, and it's got all this original footage of like the launch and like the control center in NASA. And it was filmed on a particular kind of film that I don't know about, but it was just, it's so beautiful. Like, it's really good. It's a CNN documentary. Highly recommend.
Nice. Also, Kim, I just noticed the cat hanging out.
Yes, I have my little kitten behind me. I think she got up and stretched.
Perfect. Beardo, good moves. Maurice, you still have 4. Everybody still has 4. And remember, the faster you answer, the more points you get.
Yeah, which is probably helping here, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing badly. It's not good.
Oh,
The moon takes 29 days.
29 days.
Oh, sorry. Go for it, Kim.
Let's read together. The moon takes 29 days to
29
pass through all of its phases.
all of its phases.
That was very Alice.
It's hard to read together when you're streaming. Oh, I missed it.
This is one of those that could be like one day off, like 29, 30.
Yeah.
But it's true.
Oh, it's true. All right.
Once a month, we get a full moon. Ooh, Airbox on fire.
Nice.
I love Yogam's comment here. Matt is very private. I haven't seen his face.
Very few people have.
I haven't either.
Same.
I know. It's just one of those things that stays hidden.
And the longer it happens, the less it's likely to happen.
I'm sure it'll happen one day. Who knows? Maybe.
Brian, I think you're right. We gotta set some rules for Mason.
I think y'all need rules about how close a false answer can be.
I agree. Yeah. We'll have to have an intervention with Mason next week.
I do feel like it's hard to write true and false questions because it is binary.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this one is interesting. Question number 8. There are over 100 constellations. I like Mavenir's comment in chat.
That is IPv4, so not enough space for his face. It even rhymes.
It even rhymes.
I'm not upgrading.
No IPv6.
Nope.
Until the next one.
Can you imagine the chaos that would be trying to rebrand oneself?
Oh, I've done it three times in 2 years. It's terrible. This is false. There are less than 100 constellations. Huh.
Huh. Who knew?
I figured there'd be way more. I feel like they just point at 2 stars and call it a snake. Ooh,
I feel
Yannick's on fire now.
I feel like Mason should have given us a document of like explanations for the answers.
We have chat to rely on for the Googling.
It's very true.
Yeah, Lovekesh is in here. Open Source Life. Mavenir. Sabin in there. Great info.
All right, Brian. Brian's answer here is this feels debate. I agree.
This feels debatable. Yep.
All right, we've got 2 more questions, and it's still a very close race. Yannick with the streak, and I think that boosts your next answer.
Oh, there's Bobby. There you go. 88 constellations.
Nice. Thanks, Bobby. All right, question number 9. 2 more left, and we are throwing out stickers to the winner. Proxima Centauri is the closest star to our sun.
Ooh.
Always such epic names.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just have sun. I presume the sun has a proper name as well. Like
I do
we just
too,
don't know it.
but I sure
Bet you it's
don't
not
know
as
it.
cool. Okay, that's true.
All right.
How are we doing? What's the leaderboard looking like?
Ooh,
Maurice.
Beardo got dethroned. All right,
Okay.
everybody.
Final question.
Final question. We've got a pretty close race. It's interesting. I can see the questions. I can't see the answers, though, so I'm learning as everyone else is.
Oh, okay.
Red dwarf stars are the largest in the universe.
Hmm. And is that when a star is like in the process of expiring?
Yeah.
Becomes a
I
red
think it is.
dwarf?
I'm having this recollection of like a page in my physics textbook from school of like the phases.
Hmm.
I'm just recalling my Doctor Who knowledge.
Doctor Who knowledge. Very good.
All right, this is false. Let's see how we're landing.
What are the star phases?
All right, number 3,
Number
Beardo.
3. Beardo.
Maurice.
Oh,
Oh,
Maurice was
no.
dethroned.
Who's going to be number 1?
Yannick. Nice.
Yay, good job, Yannick.
I think
I
Yannick
like how
went
the
for
name's
Yannick, that was like a 5 answer streak to get up there.
Yeah, that was impressive. So, Yannick, send us an email. Send it to, we'll do mine. So, mcowley@digitalocean.com. And we will make sure we hook you up with some stickers as a prize for winning.
Do we want to, can we put that in chat so
We can.
we know how to
I'll
spell
type
that?
it.
And you know what, Maurice, also, you did a great job as well. Let's get you some stickers as well. Let's email Matt as well, and we'll get you some stickers. Great job, everybody.
Sweet. Well, that was true or false.
That was a good one.
That was a good true or false, yeah.
It was an interesting topic. Like, not what I'd expect, but...
Oh, Mavenir, are you Maurice?
We can send you some more stickers if you want them.
Yeah, if you want them, email us. Yeah, we should have like a system next time to like pass off stickers to somebody else, if you don't want them. But Cool. Well, great job, everybody. And we'll do that next week as well. So come on back if you want to win some stickers.
Yeah. And I think with that, it's now lightning tutorial time.
Lightning tutorial time.
That's right. It's my first lightning tutorial. I'm going to share my screen. All right, you can see my terminal.
Indeed.
Great. So what I'm going to show you today is sort of two different things. The first thing I'm going to show is how to spin up a Kubernetes cluster using DigitalOcean's Kubernetes service, DOKS. And I'm going to do it from the command line using our command line tool, which is called Doctal. And once I get the cluster up and running, I'm going to show you how to create a pod and then how to get information from the pod. And that's how you deploy applications in Kubernetes. So yeah, let's get started. So what I want to do first is to create a Kubernetes cluster using Doctal. And so the first thing I'm going to do is just make sure I have Doctal installed. So that's the telltale sign that I've got it. It's giving me this nice helpful menu. And then what I'm going to do is I want to pick what data center region my Kubernetes cluster is going to be in. And with Doctal, you can look at the Kubernetes regions with this command, Kubernetes options regions. And we have lots of them. And I'm just going to go with the region that is geographically closest to me, which is San Francisco. So I'm just going to remember SFO3. The next thing I'm going to do is use the Doctal command to actually create the cluster. So Doctal Kubernetes cluster create. I'm going to give it a name and we'll call it Cloud Chats Demo. And then I want to say the region, which is SFO3. And then I'm going to say I want 3 droplets to be the nodes of the Kubernetes cluster. So I'm going to hit enter. And so right now what's happening is the droplets are getting spun up. Kubernetes is getting installed on those droplets. And although it only takes about 5 or 6 minutes for a DigitalOcean Kubernetes cluster to spin up, that's too much waiting for a stream. And so I'm going to open a new tab. I have a DOKS cluster already. So let's see, how do I find that? I am going to say Doctal Kubernetes cluster list. All right, so I have 2 Kubernetes clusters. The Cloud Chats demo is the one that I just spun up, so it's not going to be super accessible. And then I have this Cloud Chats demo 1. That's the cluster that I used last time. All right, so let's make sure I can actually connect to my Kubernetes cluster. So I'm going to use kube control now, which is the command line tool to talk to the Kubernetes API. So I'm going to say kube control get nodes. Beautiful. Okay, so those are the 3 nodes that I specified. Each node is a droplet. And then now I'm just going to see what kind of pods are running in this cluster. So kube control get pods, and I'll say in every single namespace. So all these things are Kubernetes services that DigitalOcean or Kubernetes installs for you. So we have a DO node agent, something with DigitalOcean software running. Kube proxy lets different pods and different services in your Kubernetes cluster talk to one another. So this is a Kubernetes cluster. This is what it looks like on the inside when you're looking on the command line. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to create a pod, and then we're going to look inside that pod. So a pod is where your microservices or your workloads or your applications, that's the part of Kubernetes where those things run. And I'm just going to run a generic Nginx server. And so the way to do that is with kube control run. I'm going to give the pod a name. I'm going to call it example pod. I'm going to say use the Nginx image, and let's open up port 80. So if I go back, kube control get pods all, you'll see that I have this example pod running, and it's in the default system namespace. And then we can look at the pod in a couple of different ways. But the thing I really want to see is when you install an Nginx server and you get that like, welcome to Nginx HTML page. So what I'm going to do, and I have this command copied and pasted, I'm going to create another pod. It's called BusyBox. That's the image name. And BusyBox is just a utility pod. It has lots of helpful tools on it. And so this command says kubectl run a pod called BusyBox, pull from the BusyBox image. Never restart this pod. I want you to take it out of Kubernetes when it's done running. And then we're going to run it in an interactive terminal. And I'm going to be using a shell to be interacting with BusyBox. So if I hit enter there. Oh, you know what? I forgot one thing. I need the IP address of that pod I want to talk to. So I'm going to exit out of this. That pod's just going to go away. That's no problem. I can find it, or I can create it again. So let's see. I'm going to say kubectl get pods from the default namespace output wide. Okay. So that's the example pod. That's Nginx. I want to talk to it through this IP address. This is a private IP address, so I'm the only one who can access it since I'm the only one in this cluster. So I'm going to go back now, start up that BusyBox pod. I'm going to copy that IP address. Normally, I like curl as my command line HTTP request tester. But curl is not installed on this BusyBox pod, so maybe wget. Beautiful, that's on there. All right, so now what I'm going to do is say wget. I just query that pod. Hey, and even though it's not rendered in a browser, this is all of that HTML that we expect from an Nginx pod or an Nginx server. It says, welcome to Nginx. Thank you for using Nginx. And that's it. So exit out of that. So that was really fast. But what I did was I spun up a DigitalOcean Kubernetes cluster and then installed an Nginx pod and then make sure that the pod was available at that IP address. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
That was great.
Cool. All right. I don't know.
If nothing else, I've learned something. So
let's see.
Chris,
I'll look.
muted.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Chris.
No, same as Matt. I learned a lot. That was
Cool.
fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got our Kubernetes tutorials in the chat. Check them out. And if you're not super fluent with the command line, you can use the Cloud console to spin up a Kubernetes cluster and do some of the same thing. So, all right, that's that for our Lightning tutorial.
We're going to need like a whole series of Lightning tutorials on Kubernetes.
Yeah. I would be happy to do that. That's why I got hired.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that was great. I learned something new.
Oh, thanks.
Because Kubernetes has like just been, I don't know, I guess we can move into the what's on your mind, which is our next section. Because now that we've done that, actually, it reminded me of kind of what is on my mind, which is just like infrastructure in general. I feel like I just don't quite, I get it and I can deploy an application, but I also don't get it. One of my friends on Twitter tweeted about this yesterday. I think it was kind of like, it's one of those things where you learn just enough to do what you need to do, but you don't actually understand the technology. I feel like Kubernetes is one of those things for me.
Yeah, I can relate with that. When you all talk about JavaScript stuff, I'm like, I've done some JavaScript, but I have not kept up because I moved into the infrastructure side of things. And some people really are like full stack or can do it all. I'm not one of those people. And so I've been focusing on that side of things, but it comes at a, you have to be really picky. There are trade-offs. Like if I want to spend more time on Kubernetes, that means I probably can't spend time on like Next.js.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the subtle art of giving a an F about technology stacks.
Yeah, about like being intentional about what you're doing. Or like 3 or 4 years ago, I was a JavaScript developer and Vue came out and I was like, I can't wait to try Vue. And once I moved out of JavaScript land, I'm still like, actually, I've come to the conclusion that I probably won't ever try Vue.
It sounds like a good lightning tutorial that could happen.
That's true.
But I don't know. Like, I don't know what the solution is, right? Like, do I just spend more time learning infrastructure again, or do I just continue down that path of like learn it as I need it?
That's a good question. And I think you can think about what are some of your like not long-term goals for your career, but like mid or even short-term goals. Like, is there a company or a team you want to work on where more in-depth experience with infrastructure would be necessary?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the learn as you need it, but then I'm a big fan of like forcing yourself to need it. Like that's why I tweet all these random ideas, because it's like, well, somebody should poke me and hold me accountable to something. And then I, learn how to do something new. But learn in public is a fun idea. So I don't know, necessity is the best teacher.
That makes sense.
A lot of good stuff in chat happening right now. Let's see. Bobby shouting out the ebook by DigitalOcean, How to Deploy Node to Kubernetes.
Oh yeah, one thing I didn't say in the tutorial is that like a pod is usually a container, like a Docker container. So if you can containerize a Node.js app, you can deploy it onto Kubernetes. And we have some good materials about that specific topic. I see the comments like Yoganth about Prometheus. Like next lightning tutorial I do, I can show off some Prometheus and Grafana stuff.
And then I see Love Caches on Core Web Vitals. Probably Matt or I could do that one.
What is Core Web Vitals? Is that a like an umbrella term for a certain kind of technology, or is that a like TM, like trademarked term?
This is a good segue into our next lightning tutorial.
Got it.
Well, yeah, like it's not a trademark as far as I know. Like, that it totally could be. It's an umbrella term of like a group of set of metrics essentially that Lighthouse uses for measuring website performance. And it's then what now starts to affect PageRank as well.
I see. Okay.
So it's a set of metrics that kind of measure the performance of your website. And it's like there's Core Web Vitals, and then Lighthouse has a load of other metrics as well. But Core Web Vitals are the ones that Google's now using for its ranking.
Okay, I remember looking at Lighthouse as a news item a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Here it is.
So if we let's throw DigitalOcean out here, and we run our audit. Always scary.
It's gonna shame us.
I should have just done like Google.com.
I don't know. I think it's be interesting actually. Probably give us some more learning points to talk about than Google.com.
What's up, Mr. Firu? Welcome back. Do I have a JavaScript blocker? Oh,
there we go.
So Core Web Vitals are these: largest contentful paint, cumulative layout shift.
Oh, so that blue banner that indicates a Core Web Vital metric.
There's more of them,
yes.
right?
There are more than that, I think, but yeah, this is kind of just like the high-level summary that Google gives you now for the ones they care about.
There we go. First input delay is the other one.
So yeah, like these three are just like essentially like how fast is your page for a user to start using it.
Yeah, and these measure a little bit better than like speed index or time to interactive, how like an actual user uses the site.
Okay.
But yeah, we can definitely do a longer thing on that. But let's see what they want from us. Usually, if you see a lot on performance, it's images. Images are like one of the largest hits to performance.
I think for our site, the main issues are the header, which is a really big image.
That big image, yeah.
And then we load the hugest amount of JavaScript for tracking and all sorts. So I think Google doesn't like that particularly either.
Let's go for images, refresh. And where's the big one? Oh, memory cache. Hold on. This is a tangent, but I could not do it.
Oh, this is good.
This one right here.
Okay, so you filtered by
Which is the hero,
size.
Yeah.
Okay.
740 kilobytes. Yeah, that's a big one.
Well, it's like in total, the images total like is almost exactly 1 megabyte. Yeah.
Cool. Well, good to know. And this website, like this homepage went live, what, last week?
Yeah, I think so.
Less than a week ago. Yeah, it won in a test and it's now live.
Cool. That's the fun part about the web, though. Always iterate.
Yeah. And like, we talked about this last time when the Lighthouse update came out, but like Lighthouse scores do change over time, and it's just a way to improve your site a bit more. That's all they're doing, is just scores to give you an idea of your performance.
Yep. And then let's see. Yeah, our accessibility score, fantastic. SEO, of course, is like our bread and butter. DigitalOcean uses lazy load for images, so images don't affect performance. That's true, but this big one, since it's like first and foremost, it has to load.
Yeah.
So you can't really lazy load this one right here. But that's always fun for me.
No, that's cool. I like that. I've done accessibility audits before on web pages, but never with Lighthouse stuff or those core web vital metrics.
Yeah, if you want to measure your own sites, with just web.dev, which I believe is a Google property, right?
Yes, it's a Google site. It has the ability to actually like measure performance, and they also have a huge number of articles on like fixing everything that could go wrong. And I think they've also got some just general web stuff in there as well now.
Yeah, very good collection of like guides on all these random things.
Nice. Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna take everything that just happened to be the what's on my mind.
Sure.
mine was gonna be something really quick. I really love when websites do these really quick things like React.new.
Where does React.new go to?
With Sandbox.
Oh.
Nice.
And you can do repo.new, and that goes directly to GitHub.
I think
that's handy.
I think they have gist. I think they got gist.new as well.
What is?
Gist.new, I think, as well.
Oh, gist, yeah. There's also docs. Is it docs.new?
I could just be singular doc as well, I think. Yeah, but yeah, like a lot of the big companies have got these, and it's really cool.
Yeah,
that's actually really handy. Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, docs.new is actually one I'll use because I do a lot of work in Google Docs. Oh, cool. Forms.new.
Is that all of them?
Slides. I don't know what Google is. It called Google Slides?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. React.new is probably my most used one.
Makes sense.
Cool.
All right, Kim, what is on your mind?
I'm also going to change the one I have listed. I'm just going to say my kittens. So I have two kittens. One of them's in the background, one somewhere else. Normally they're running around and playing with each other during cloud chat. So I shut the door and leave them out. But they both got a bunch of vaccines yesterday and they're tired. So, taking care of your pets. And I'm sort of a new pet owner. So, yeah, but enjoying their company.
Oh, lovely.
Looks like they're loving that tree.
They do like the tree.
I can't decide who's got the better background now. Is it Chris with his amazing decorations, or is it Kim with the cats?
I have to step my my game up. I'll put a cat tree back there.
I know. I know Chris has a lot of pets, so he could easily, pull ahead in this competition.
No, there's no competition. All cats is all wins.
All are good backgrounds.
All good. Does anyone want to find a bad joke since Mason's bad joke or Mason's joke of the day? I don't want to call it bad joke. I'm sorry, Mason, if you're watching. I didn't mean to call it bad joke.
Oh,
Um,
if Mason catches a wind of that, it's never going to be forgotten.
I didn't mean it that way. Let's see.
I found a bad joke list. It's pretty bad.
I don't know. Or does anyone in chat have a bad joke that they want to sign us off with?
All right, I've got one.
Okay.
What does a baby computer call its father?
Baby computer call its father.
I want to get one of these one day.
I know.
What do they call it?
Data.
Ooh, that's good.
That's good.
Oh, that's good. Bobby with the 2 cats, open source life with 1 dog. Love it. Honestly, they make the best rubber duck debuggers.
Oh, the cats or the pets.
Yeah. Graph plus banana is equal to Grafana.
Grafana.
Grafana. Right on. Well, with that, some good jokes all around. Thank you, everyone, for joining another Cloud Chats. This is episode 18. We will be back for a fun Cloud Chats on
So
Tuesday.
upcoming events,
Yeah,
right? We
Yep.
do our upcoming events section normally. The only one that's really important is Deploy. June 29th. We have a 8-hour long. Is it 8 hours, right?
It is 8
hours.
hours. You
Yeah.
can come for just 1 or 2 talks. You can stay for the whole day. It's virtual, so anyone around the world can join us. We'll be there for Cloud Chats. We'll be there in Discord.
Yeah, we'll have some fun talks as well.
Mhm.
And yeah, definitely join the Discord and deploy. But it's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
And
As I said,
we'll
the important thing to note, right, is that there won't be a Cloud Chats next Thursday because we're doing it on Tuesday at Deploy.
Oh yeah, thank you, Matt.
So if you turn up here next Thursday, we won't be here. It'll be very sad. And you would have missed the live Cloud Chats from Deploy.
So we'll see you Tuesday. Right on.
I think we're
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you,
All right,
everybody, for
thanks,
joining.
everybody.
And we'll see you next week.
See you next
Take
week.
care.